Hey everybody, it is time for another video, but this time no game pickups. I am gonna show my PlayStation 2 horror collection. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a couple of stacks of games like here in front of me, like 3 stacks. They are kind of like random, but I organize them by series. But we'll most likely start out with like the cheaper ones, and yeah, we'll slowly build up, but it's very mixed. I am excluding a couple of games that you could consider horror because there are maybe some monsters in there and maybe it has some hellish elements. Just thinking of like Devil May Cry, you could say like, yeah, there are some spooky bits in there, like that is horror. Or like Maximo, 1 and 2, or maybe Constantine. Like, at some point I need to say like more. This is enough, man. This is gonna be a long video, I guess. But if you have seen this video and at the end you think like, hey, you are definitely missing out on this horror game, like my preference is the survival horror game, do let me know though, so that I could add it to maybe another list. But I feel that, yeah, I mentioned this like 2 weeks or so ago. I feel like I'm nearing the end of that like sub collection. But of course, I always want to know like if there's really like a game that I should add to my PlayStation 2 collection, horror collection. Yeah. With that said, though, let's just get started. The first one that I have in front of me is the X-Files. Now, this is a survival horror game, and I like the X-Files. X-Files is one of those series that I really want to rewatch. Always try to rewatch, but then kind of fall off. But after like a couple of seasons. But the X-Files, as a kid, I really enjoyed the X-Files. And this seems like a very cool survival horror game. Some of these games I just played a tiny bit, but at some point I really want to like play them on a CRT and actually play all of them. Also, my focus with the horror collection is these are games that I'm most likely to play or really want to play. The other one I've shown this like in a pickup video, that is called Fear. It's very nauseating because you're in the boat and the camera is just all over the place. But it has some decent elements. It's like a game that people really or kind of ignored because of like Resident Evil 4. Spoilers, that's also another horror game in this collection. But yeah, Cold Fear, it looks cool though. But yeah, the camera, it's a bit too much. Here's another one, Extermination. Yeah, I want to say this is not complete in box. Most of these games that I do have are complete in box. Extermination, it is like a cheapish survival horror game, but it is not one to ignore though. There are some fun elements in there, and I do like the I do like the visuals, and it is a very PlayStation 2 era-esque type of game. But Extermination, this one I will include though, because it is somewhat of like a PlayStation 2 like survival horror game. Run Like Hell, to some extent. I could exclude this one, but I do want to show it because it's a game that when I saw it, I really had to do some digging. Like, what is this? Like, Run Like Hell. But I really like the box art. It is unique. It's a weird game. I want to say maybe not the best, but it has monsters. So then you would say, like, why don't you include like Maximo? Like, at some point I need to draw a line. Okay. Anyway, another one, The Thing. This is a very cool game. I always liked the visuals of this game, especially when it came out. The remaster came out, but I'm waiting for the physical version for the Switch, like the deluxe version. That is maybe this month or next month or so. But yeah, The Thing. I like the movie. And I also like the sequel prequel movie. It's actually very decent. It's very fun. Just don't... No, it is actually very good. I think people are a bit too negative about that movie. Both the Thing movies are very good. I watched them, rewatched them like recently again. And I know the first time around, I really did not like it. But the second time around, I was like, you know what? Yes, it is very similar to The Thing. But the name is in the title. It is about The Thing. It is actually a very, very fun movie. I just wanted to show this one. Zombie Zone. I was able to get it for cheap. Listen, the line that I just drew, you know, it's flexible. Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare. This is a very cheap title, but you know, it is Alone in the Dark. I remember playing Alone in the Dark on the PC way back then and never really understood anything what you had to do. Might have been due to the fact that I was like an illegal copy, don't tell anyone, but I always got stuck like in the first half hour. Like the first Alone in the Dark games are really weird. But yeah, Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare. PlayStation 2 version might not be the best one. I want to say the Dreamcast version is maybe the way to go. You know, it's a cheap title, and it looks cool. It looks cool. It is a true like survival horror game though. Obscure. And yeah, I've shown this like very recently. Obscure 2. I liked Obscure from what I've played. When I showed it the game pickup video, yeah, it looks like decent. It's kind of unique with the yeah, the NPCs that follow you around, and then in 2 there's more like the co-op element. It's unique. Yeah, I've already shown this. Resident Evil 4. It's a masterpiece. I want to say Resident Evil 4. You know, it leans more in the action, but you know, it is still like a survival horror game. It is so good, man. Like Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. Fantastic. Also like the remake, but I could play the remake. I could play the first version again because of the remake. Doesn't mean like I don't like the first one, like the original version anymore. Like they both have like reasons to exist, and I still like the first one. I might prefer like the first one over the remake, but the remake is also very good. This one though, well, you know, a bit of story attached to this one, like Dead Aim. I picked this one up like last year. It might have been like almost like exactly like a year or so ago. Picked this one up in Cork, Ireland. It was just cheaper over there, so I flew all the way over to Cork, Ireland to pick this one up. But no, picked this one up at a CX over there, and was very happy to find like Dead Aim, because yeah, this is just a very unique title. You know, being able to play it with the controller, but also the G-Gun 2. And I like my light gun games, but it's kind of like mixed together. I like the look. It takes place on a ship. It's cool. Yeah. Speaking of cool, Resident Evil Survivor 2, Code Veronica. Code Veronica, that is a good game. Survivor 2 though. I like my light gun games, but can you actually play this one with the light gun? Yeah, you can. It is not the best, but it is not bad in a good way. It is not that fun to play. But yeah, I was able to pick this one up back then, like at the local CEX, and was just thinking like, hey, this is never gonna get like a remake or like a re-release. This is it, and I do want to know. I do want to know what it's all about. And I do like the light gun games again. So, you know, yeah, Code Veronica X. I played the Dreamcast version. I really enjoyed my time with Code Veronica. Also want to say the PlayStation 2 version might not be the best way to play this one. The GameCube version might be better, or the Dreamcast version. But back then, man, seeing it like Resident Evil, like no more pre-rendered backgrounds and fully like 3D, it was cool. I really enjoyed this one. Now, I'm not too sure though if there is a regular version of this one. Besides like the Platinum version, the regular version, I don't see that often. I'm okay with like the Platinum version, but you know, at some point might want to pick up just the other one. And then we have Resident Evil Outbreak, file number 2. Let's just do this together. And file, no, just Resident Evil Outbreak. So this is more like a multiplayer focused like Resident Evil game. Listen, they should remake these or re-release these or make like a sequel because this is cool. I never had a chance to play these like online. They are still like enjoyable like single player, but they have to do more with this, right? Am I crazy in saying that? I think more people agree with that statement. Resident Evil Outbreak, it is just more like a traditional like survival horror game like Resident Evil with the fixed camera perspectives. But yeah, more co-op online. They need to do more with that. So that's all the Resident Evil games I want to say. And yeah, now we do get like now we're getting into the real shit, like the Silent Hill. I love my Resident Evil, but I prefer like Silent Hill because it's definitely more moody, more scary, and the music is always top notch. I like the campiness. There's also a lot of campiness in Silent Hill, but I like the campiness of Resident Evil. I just like the tones and the vibe and the ambience in like the Silent Hill games. Shattered Memories, I played that one on the Wii. Do also own still like a copy on the Wii. I think that is also a very decent version, but yeah, had to get it on the PlayStation 2. And Shattered Memories, really enjoyed it. It's a cool game. Origins, I played it on the PSP. Don't own that version anymore, but yeah, had to get like the PlayStation 2 version of Origins. It's okay. It feels a bit buggy, but it's okay. Silent Hill 4 The Room, I'm gonna say, never played it. But I do want to play it because I am kind of intrigued by it. I think at the time when The Room came out, people did not like it because it was kind of like different when you compared it like to 2 and 3. Because you're stuck in that room the whole time, although that's not really the case, correct? But there were some negatives about it, but I do think people are slowly starting to warm up about the room, or have warmed up about the room, are getting a bit more positive about this one. But I just want to play it without that mindset of like, hey, the room, no, that is not a good game. I think compared to 2 and 3, it's not maybe like the best, but it's still like a good horror game. Resident Evil 3. This one is going up in price slowly. It is already like, yeah, quite expensive. But yeah, luckily I do own it now, so I can cross it off the list. Don't have to look at the prices anymore. Yeah, most likely they will remake this one as well, right? Because like Silent Hill 2 has been remade. They just announced like a remake for Silent Hill 1. I do own Silent Hill 1 on the PlayStation 1. But yeah, 3 is probably most likely the next one, right, in a couple of years. I played it, but never finished it. But I need to fix that at some point. Of course, after 3, we get 2. These are all like normally in order on my shelf. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, I do own the director's cut. So yeah, I had been on the hunt for Silent Hill 2. In a crazy mindset, I sold my copy of Silent Hill 2, which was actually in a very good condition, like in a carton box, like the normal version. Don't know why I did that. Also for a very cheap price, because I really didn't want to collect for the PlayStation 2. And here I am showing a lot of like PlayStation 2 games. But sometimes you need to sell something and then you know like, oh no, I made a mistake. And then you start to appreciate the thing because you no longer have it. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, I was able to pick up like the director's cut. I want to say I purchased it with, you know, at CEX. No, I actually purchased this at a game convention, I want to say. Anyway, I kind of prefer maybe the director's cut because it does include that bonus scenario with Maria. So I never played it. I did play the original like version, but I never played the bonus content. And you don't have that bonus content in the carton box. And also, I don't really like the carton box unless it is in a very good condition. But yeah, after that, after I sold my own version, I tried to purchase it from CX like a couple times, but it was always missing the manual or the box was damaged. So I just gave up. And I was thinking, you know what? This is actually the real version. Because this has actually more content. yeah, so those are the Silent Hill games. So yeah, maybe at some point, because of the completionist mindset, I do want to have the regular version, but only if I see it for cheap and if it is in good condition, and that is never gonna happen. But never say never. I just said never though, but maybe at some point, but I'm not in a rush. I don't specifically need it. Did pick up Silent Hill 2, the remake though. I started to play it too a little bit. My first impression was very good. And also kind of fascinating that it changes up quite a few things. So yeah, felt like a very, not like a new experience, but it felt more like, you're doing something different. I appreciate that. Anyway, another one. Yeah, this is in a protective box because I had one, and it's a bit more like an expensive PlayStation 2 title. That's Haunting Ground. Yeah, this one appeared like at my local CEX when I was actually near that CEX, and I was like, yeah, I need to pick this one up. Haunting Ground also slowly climbing up in price. Not that crazy when you compare to the NTSC release though, because I want to say that is more expensive. But yeah, Haunting Ground, it's a Capcom title. I like Capcom titles. Most of their output is very good, especially like on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, and NES, and Super Nintendo, and even nowadays, like Capcom, man. Capcom, they had their moments when they were not maybe the best. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years or so ago, but when they started like releasing those remakes again of like it actually started like with GameCube, with those remakes, but then the remakes of the remakes, and then Capcom is very good, very good. But yeah, Haunting Ground, I like it. It's yeah, somewhat Clock Tower esque, right? And yeah, I shown like Project Zero 3 2 weeks or so ago, and of course Project Zero 2 and 1. And then yeah, another series, Forbidden Siren 2. Forbidden Siren is freaky, man. This is for PlayStation. This is all about PlayStation 2, but I do own Siren on the PlayStation 3, which is somewhat of a remake of the first one. A little bit, right? These are very unique in the way how they tell the stories and what you have to do. They are kind of like odd in a certain way if you want to see everything, or if you want to progress, because you have to do very specific things, and it's kind of like obscure about it, like what you have to do. To me, that is just very fascinating. Like if they try to do something innovative, like within a game or something new, just to change it up. But yeah, Forbidden Siren always stands out to me just with how freaky they are. They are freaky as hell. Just that's I've spoken about this before, but with the PlayStation 2, just the texture work and like the low res, the low fidelity, but still the proper audio, and it still looks good. And yeah, Forbidden Siren, they do that weird thing with the faces, so it looks realistic, but it's also not, and that makes it even a bit more scarier. But yeah, the audio design is fantastic. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate Clock Tower 3. A very recent pickup, but yeah, Clock Tower 3. I want to say that Clock Tower 3 is maybe not underrated, but I could see like this one like go up in price, like by a lot, like in the coming years or so, because I think this one is quite overlooked in some weird way. Everybody is like looking at like Haunting Ground, but at the same time they forget like Clock Tower 3, and it's actually a very decent game. Maybe can be like here and there, but that's part of like Clock Tower, in my opinion. But yeah, Clock Tower 3, I like it. I still need to play that remake on the Switch, and I did play the original version though. I liked it. I never played like the PlayStation versions, like the PlayStation 1. I think there's a good one in there and maybe a bad one. Who knows? Not gonna buy those unless I see them at the game convention. And then yeah, this one, Manhunt 2. Now this one is also quite expensive nowadays. I don't know. I don't know like how much. You know, I could say like maybe the NTSC version is also quite expensive. With horror titles like an NTSC version, often like crazy expensive. But yeah, Manhunt 2 also in a very decent condition. Very happy that I was able to add this one. Also funny story, I was on vacation, was just browsing my CEX app, saw it was in stock, and I can't yet tell you like how quickly I hit that purchase button because they had it for a very low price. I like deals. If you did not know that, I like my deals. And I think at the time when this one came in stock, they also had Manhunt 1. So I also clicked on purchase like super quick on Manhunt 1. Less expensive than Manhunt 2 though. But Manhunt 2, I just don't see that often. The Suffering, yeah, survival horror, but it's, no, not really. It's more like action-esque, definitely campy, but, you know, it belongs in a horror collection, I want to say. And I really enjoyed my time with The Suffering. I played The Suffering on the PC way back then, enjoyed my time with it. The Suffering 2, or... also seems like a very like decent version of it, but maybe it goes a bit too wild. I don't quite know, but I like these type of games. They are maybe bad, but still enjoyable. That's okay to say, right? But yeah, The Suffering. So I have those two, and these are not the final games. But I have 2 more games to show after these. And those 2 games are definitely, yeah, for me, the highlight in my collection. So first, Evil Dead, The Fistful of Boomstick. Yeah, it's enjoyable, but the better version is definitely Evil Dead Regeneration. I've shown this a while ago. There's even like a let's play video on my channel where I show maybe like half an hour of this game. I really like this game. They definitely nailed that Evil Dead feeling with Evil Dead Regeneration. There's another Evil Dead game that was on the PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast. That one is a bit more like survival horror-esque. Maybe at some point I will see it for the PlayStation, but or for the Dreamcast. I own one game for my American NTSC Dreamcast, and that is Virtua Tennis 2. And sometimes I think like, hey, do I want to pick up some games for the Dreamcast? And then I'm like, no, don't begin. I'm scared that the Dreamcast, the laser unit. Anyway, but House of the Dead on the Dreamcast though, that's a fantastic game. I like my light gun games. But yeah, the following 2 titles, yeah, you can already guess maybe, but these are the highlights. Echo Night Beyond, not like the most craziest expensive like horror game, and I do consider this as a horror game on the PlayStation 2. It's not really like a survival horror game, but it's a horror game. I just like it, but I also like it because it's a From Software game. And yeah, I like the setting. I like the team. Like it's in space. It's sci-fi-esque. It's weird. It's From Software. I like it. But yeah, the price, it's not like the most expensive one because that is definitely like Kwan. And Kwan is, yeah, my highlight of my collection. And I also think that Kwan is, yeah, maybe a highlight of my collection like overall. Did I pick this one up like 2 years or so ago, or maybe last year, at the beginning of last year? But Kwan was one of those games that I knew, like, I need this one. I want to play this one. It's a horror game, also by From Software. It is maybe nowadays like the most expensive like horror game on the PlayStation 2. It's or one-off. And it has been slowly like climbing in price, but when I saw it on Vinted, I don't remember like how much I paid for it, but I sold some games, had the budget, and just jumped on it because I also had a feeling that because of like Silent Hill, gaining more traction, like Silent Hill 2, PlayStation 2, people started to talk more about like Kwon and From Software. I just knew like, okay, maybe now is actually the time to pick it up before it actually goes in price. And I have never seen it again for like below like 300 or so. And this one is also in a very good condition, like pristine, like minty. I want to say this one is minty. But yeah, Kwon, besides like Rule of Rose, which has become cheaper, I think this is maybe like number 1 or 2 now. I could see like a very obscure like horror game being a bit more expensive, but Kwon, I just knew like, hey, don't wait too long for Kwon, and very happy that I was able to pick it up. There's not a Let's Play video of this one on the channel, I think. No, I don't think so. But yeah, this is definitely, I like it. I like it a lot. Kwon, fantastic. From Software, that is another sub-collection that I am aiming for, like From Software titles on the PlayStation 2. Just missing out on most of the Armored Core games right now, and that is basically it. But I can wait, and I like the weird From Software games a bit more. And Armored Core has some weird elements in there, but this is like another echelon. I don't know if you can call it like that, but this is a different kind of weirdness. This is, to me, From Software. But yeah, I spoke about it like 2 weeks or so ago, or a while ago, that I I'm still considering like Rule of Rose and the Gregory Horror Show. Of those two, like I lean a bit more into like the Gregory Horror Show as a game to add to my collection, just because of the aesthetics and its quirkiness. But Rule of Rose, yeah, I think I like the weirdness of that one, and the story. I think the story is like decent, but I'm not too sure. If you do know though, let me know. But I'm not quite sure about the gameplay and if it is actually fun to play. And I need to know more about it because, although it dropped in price, it should be around like 220 now, 225, maybe a bit more than that. I don't know if I'm really willing to spend on that. Like, hey, Kwon, I know I just want to complete it when I take my time and actually play it. But with Rule of Rose, I don't know. But if you do know, though, let me know. Help me out. And also help me out if you have not seen a game that you do believe, based on the games that I've shown here, like, hey, that actually belongs in that PlayStation 2 horror collection. Because I did my research. I think these are, well, besides like Zombie Zone. Zombie Zone is a joke, okay? I do believe like most of these are actually like, yeah, like part of it. But you know, I might have missed something. I'm only human. So yeah, let me know in the comments. And having said that though, that is gonna do it. Thanks all for watching, and as always, thanks for the likes and the subscribes. Highly appreciate it. And next week there's gonna be another video, I think. Oh, see y'all later.